Hi, I'm Mayce.
And I'm Missy.
We're best friends
and business partners. And each week, we're going to bring you a quote that inspires us, and we're going to talk about it.
Join us as we break down our favorite impactful messages for leadership and share how you can apply them to lead with confidence and purpose.
Get ready for a fun and authentic journey into leadership, life, and everything in between. Well, hey, bestie.
Hey, Bessie. I am really excited for this week's episode.
I am too. Our guest is a newer friend of ours, and she is a powerhouse.
She is. She is a superstar in the automotive industry, and she's just a light. Wink, wink. Maybe that is a little clue to our quote today.
I see what you did there. Well, Macy, I say let's just dive right in. Welcome to our guest today, Shasta Haddock.
Yay, Shasta. We are so glad you're here. We met you not that long ago, actually. We were speakers at an event that you sit on the board for. We were guests on your podcast, I'm a Car Chick podcast. And we are just so thrilled that you said yes to be with us here today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. You guys, the podcast we did, getting to be in your session at that conference, everything, like the energy is electric. So I love it. Be with you guys.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, Shasta, before we share the quote and talk about it, why don't you share with our listeners a little more about you, who you are, and what you do?
Whew, that's a loaded question. I'm just an imperfect person that took a weird path that led me down the right road. I started working after I turned 18 because I turned 17 and my mom was like, you need to get a job. And I quickly realized, oh my God, this is the last 6 months of my childhood. Like I'm never going to be a child again, and had that weird, life crisis at 17, and begged her to not make me work until I turned 18. But my God, that day I turned 18, she had put in like 7 applications for me. And she's like, you're getting job whether you want to or not. So I did some really weird jobs at like Sam's Club. I was a cashier there. I worked at Walgreens as a cashier. Did the best selling credit cards and candy bars. So I got a whole lot of kudos for that. I had no idea what I was doing.
I mean, who could say no to you?
I know.
Not many people did. I was a little fruitful.
You were like the top producer in candy bar sales at Walgreens.
I was. I didn't know as a Walgreens shopper that was something. So the cashier is supposed to sell you the things that they have on the cashier stand. They're upsells.
You're welcome, listeners. Now you know.
Yeah.
Please do those cashiers a favor and buy some candy when you check out.
And then give it to them, right? Yeah. That's the sweet thing to do.
Yes. So that was a thing. So then I went into senior care, caring for usually seniors with like dementia and Alzheimer's that, just didn't really need a full-time aide, but somebody just kind of there with them to either drive them to appointments, do their laundry, things like that. Obviously did not love that, but loved the work, but not doing it. And I just really bounced around a lot between like really bad friends and bad groups, and was just not on a good path whatsoever.
Shasta, we're hearing some things about you. You know,
I know.
Like you'd be a bad
surprise.
Girl.
I know. And so then my mom had started working at this dealership. She had recently, back in 2013, she'd started up a marketing agency. And this dealership had approached her about her services, and she's like, I'm more than happy to bring you on as a client. And they're like, no, we want you to work for us so that you can learn the ins and outs of a dealership. And she's like, but I run my agency. I would be running my agency from your dealership. And they're like, no, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that.
Wow.
So she became the marketing director for that dealership. And the more she got to learn about automotive, she's like, I think you would be perfect for this job called the BDC, and was telling me all about it. I'm like, well, it sounds easy enough. Like,
okay. So just pause. Tell our listeners that maybe don't know, what does BDC stand for?
So BDC is the Business Development Center. The job of the BDC is to work any and all internet traffic that the dealership would receive. So you're a customer, you're looking for a vehicle online. You can either do that on a dealer's website or cars.com, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, all those sites we all know. And anytime you hit that little button that says, I want more information, or I want to calculate my payment, that submits what the dealership calls a lead to whoever handles that. Most of the time it's the BDC. could be a salesperson. But then that department nurtures those customers, nurtures those relationships, and works to bring them into the dealership for an appointment, or hands them off to a salesperson to handle that. So she's like, you're going to be perfect for this. You don't have to do anything face to face. It's kind of like sales, but not really, and just chaotic enough for you. I think you'd do good with it. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out. So that was
How old were you then?
19.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay. So this was like your first big girl job.
Yeah, I still, I think it was because I was under the age of 21. They found out after they hired me that I wasn't approved to be on the insurance for the dealership. So like I couldn't drive any of the cars, and we did a lot of events. Yeah, we did a lot of events. And so I somehow skated by on that one. They're like, you cannot let her behind the wheel of a car, even if it's across the parking lot. You cannot let her behind the wheel of a car. I had a perfect driving record, but they couldn't.
Sure. Yeah. Just the age, the insurance.
Yeah.
So yeah, started doing that, did that on and off for a couple of years, and then ended up getting a really bad manager who he and I didn't get along. And of course I worked with my mom. She wasn't in the same department, but she was close enough by. And he and her got into a little bit of a pissing match, and instead of taking it out on her, he took it out on me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I couldn't, I tried for so long, loved the job, loved the dealership, couldn't do it anymore. And so one day I told her, I said, if the agency has enough business, I'd like to just come on with you. I mean, like, you don't even have to pay me that much. Like, I'll just whatever. And so since that day, I've been full-time working for her. And
wow.
We've built it. It was one company at the time. We now have 3 companies.
Wow.
Yeah, we do marketing, the BDC. We offer our own BDC now. And then we just launched an app back in January. So I now head everything up as the CMO of all of that. And
Amazing.
then 2 years ago, launched the podcast. And I just didn't think that was enough to keep me busy. So in February, I joined the board of Women in Automotive. And in 2 weeks, I'll be 31. So I'm like, shouldn't I be retiring soon?
Yeah,
a lot in
so
a young age, short time. Was your mom at the event?
Yes. So she was I don't know how long you guys stuck around. She was the closing keynote.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
No, we had to leave after we spoke, but we had a great time, and you're amazing. We're so glad that you're here.
And we're so glad that you're a part of our life now.
I know.
Like we're connected.
Yeah.
So
it was kismet. It was kismet for sure. Like it was a very good energy match. We found out we're all pink girlies. So
we are
always on.
Hey, but don't let the pink fool you. We're all powerhouses.
Fight.
Yeah.
I wish I could show you my whole desk. I have this this cool little pink setup, but I have these little pink cars that are just set up on my desk that are just
cute. Okay, so you know that we talk about a quote each week, and the one we chose for you today, it was actually written, Shasta, by the most well-known author in the world, and that's Anon or Anonymous. And it's this, and I think it's perfect for you. Your light may not reach everyone, but it will reach those who are seeking it. So ladies, let's talk about it.
Well, yes, I'm going to let you in on
she's
a little secret. I have a confession to make. We saw it on your LinkedIn and you said, I absolutely love this quote. And I was like, not only does she live it out, but she posted it. So we're using it. So I just had to confess. But when you hear that, or when you read that, what comes to mind for you, Shasta?
Well, I'm sure you ladies can probably attest to this as well. When you podcast, you don't always get direct feedback. Like it's not like an interactive conversation like this where you can read the energy on someone's face or understand how they're feeling about what you just said. And so a lot of times I have no idea that the people who are listening, I don't know who's going to randomly find the podcast via a Google search one day.
Right.
And it kind of stemmed from that, but also like I have a very heavy presence on social media, especially more so the last 6 to 8 months. And when we come off of a conference like we just did, I had complete strangers people that I didn't even know I was connected with, or people that I didn't even know knew me, walking up to me, talking about how much, some of the things I've posted or talked about in the podcast have helped them. And it's things like that until somebody makes those comments to you, you really don't have any idea. So you have to just keep continuing to be that light for somebody else because you don't know who needs it.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, the quote is so good because it's a good reminder to leaders, to people in general, that you don't have to impact everyone, right? You just have to be faithful to shine. And the right people who need it are going to see it, and then they'll grow because of it.
Yeah, like Shasta said, like you could be posting all day, every day, and you don't know who needs it. And I would say too, Missy, just based on what you shared, like not just leaders need to keep shining, like
Right.
everybody, if you're listening to this, whether you lead a team or not, just keep shining your light because the world needs you.
And I know that sounds like prissy and pink, right? Like us, but it really isn't. We all have a light inside of us, that passion or that drive, that calling, and we've got to step into that.
Yeah, absolutely, for certain.
I think for me, what kind of sets me apart, and it's funny you mentioned the prissy and pink. What sets me apart is that I find the most genuine connections for me happen when I'm being almost too vulnerable or too raw with people. Like, I mean, I'm no stranger to, or I don't keep a secret at all that I don't like dressing up. I hate wearing makeup. I hate doing my hair. If I looked good at all with short hair, I would rock it just so I didn't have to fix it. Like, and trust me, I've been there, I've done it. I know I don't look good with it. I prefer to wear Converse. I'm wearing Converse right now. Like, especially even at conferences, I hate being dressed up. It makes me uncomfortable to the point where I feel like I can't be myself. And
Yes.
that's where I feel like, maybe people are a little bit more prone to connect with me or prone to, feel like they vibe with me in some way because I'm willing to put that out there and have those conversations saying, hey, you don't have to look like a 10 to be a 10.
And
Great.
you are who you are, right? You're
Yeah.
authentic, you're real. I think that's what makes you so special is that you show up every day just being who you are, right? There's
Yes.
not this Shasta and that Shasta. It's just Shasta.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
I go ahead, Shasta.
in automotive, like especially a male dominated industry, there's already so many precedents set upon women. Like, you have to look like this, you can't dress like this, you
Right.
have tattoos, that's just going to make it worse. And so all of these things that we already have on us that don't belong there. Like, and I remember telling somebody within my organization a few years ago at a conference, because they're like, oh, you're not going to put on any hair and makeup for this cocktail party. And I'm like, my brain is the same level of smart whether I have hair and makeup on or not. And like, I can still have a very intelligent conversation with somebody
Sure.
even if I don't have hair and makeup on. So if they're not willing to see that because I don't have hair and makeup on, they're probably not somebody I
Yeah.
want to be tied to anyways.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, the beauty is the light that shines within, and obviously you posted this quote, so it had struck something in you. Um, is there a moment, or has there been a moment in your career, Shasta, where you felt like your influence didn't reach everyone, but it reached the right one or the right people at the right time?
Yeah, a lot. And I mean, again, back to, you guys have probably done the same thing where you do a podcast and you don't necessarily know, like, this isn't in my normal realm of why I would do this, but something's telling me I need to do this. And then it does strike a chord with the right person. And you get a message from somebody and they're like, you have no idea how much this episode, hit home for me, or how much your post made so much sense to me, or how I've been struggling with this. And you never know when you're doing it that it's going to do that. And so
Yeah.
it's like, that's never the intention of it, of, I want to change someone's life with a podcast episode, but
Right.
sometimes it happens.
Well, yeah, you never
Yeah.
know. You obviously you have such great energy. I feel like you're always smiling, right? Like anytime we've ever seen you in person on the pod, like recording the podcast, everything, you have such a big heart. How do you keep your light shining, do you think, and keep that positivity even when there's tough days? Like how do you keep showing up, shining your light?
It's, that's a deep one. It's definitely a choice. And I've gone through enough of the hard times, I think, especially, being on the business owner side, where when you realize that sulking in this or being negative about this isn't going to make it any better. Like, I can sit here and kick myself about it. I mean, the last few years have been a torturous set of years for not just the business, but for my family. And so we there was times where I would sulk about it or want to just sit there and complain about it for hours on end, and then realize at the end of the day, like, that did me no good. That just made me feel worse. Like the longer I sat in it, the worse I felt. And so in those moments when I find myself like in that, you just get that feeling in your chest where you're either mad or upset. I just either go find funny memes to look at to kind of change my mood, or I go find motivational quotes. And then I just take those moments and I'm like, in my darkness, I want to try to hit somebody else who's in their darkness and either post something motivational or post something funny, because again, you never know who's going to need it.
That's right.
Love that. Just hearing that, and I know you both would probably agree that we've met people that should be shining their light, but for whatever reason, they shrink back, right? Like maybe they have some fear around it. Maybe they think they'll be too much or not enough. So, Shasta, do you have any advice for someone who's listening to encourage them to share their light instead of hiding it?
I depending on the day, I'm in that boat still. And it's funny because I had a self-appointed mentor who told me, you need to start applying to speak at places. You need to be on all the stages. And I'm like, I don't have anything to say. Like, why would I do that? I don't have anything to say. Like, what would I tell somebody? And a lot of the people that I've talked to have said the same thing. Like there was a couple of panelists that we had at the conference this year that are like, someone told me I need to be a solo speaker next year. And it's like, what do I say? And I said, I literally said the same thing. And yet I found something and filled out an entire room. And I think based on what I've heard, I had the most filled session there that wasn't. And so it's imposter syndrome. Number one is real. We're always going to have the fear that we're not good enough, but you're going to be good enough for somebody and the right people who need to hear it.
I love that.
Yeah. And it's, if you're too much, that person can go find less, number one. And number two, you're going to be the right level of whatever is needed for the person who needs it.
I love what you just said. Like, if I'm too much, go find less. Like that to me is a mic drop tweetable if we only tweeted.
Yes, it is.
Shasta, do you have any practices? Because you mentioned earlier about intentionality. Is there anything that you do, any practices, any routines that you do intentionally, maybe daily, to make sure people feel noticed by you? Like, obviously, as you said a couple of times, like, you don't know if you're noticed and you're not doing what you're doing to be noticed. But what do you do to make sure people feel noticed by you? Hey, bestie. I was thinking about our listeners this morning and imagine that so many of them are like managers that we have worked with from all over the world for the past decade, feeling overwhelmed and spread thin.
Yes, and they're probably finding themselves constantly repeating expectations, fixing mistakes, or carrying too much of the load, and it's time for a change.
At Mpactful Messages, we specialize in helping managers in high-stress jobs take back control of their team and their time. We know that they want to lead more effectively, increase team performance, and achieve all their goals without burning out. And we created a solution.
That's right. If you're solving problems your team should be handling, and you're explaining the same thing over and over again, and you're reacting to fires instead of leading forward, and you feel like it's all on you, you need to go right now to www.manager-reset.com and download our new guide.
And here's the thing. You don't need a new planner or another motivational quote. You need a reset.
So go right now to www.manager-reset.com for your free guide. You'll be so glad you did.
It's something that I struggle with for sure. I stay so busy that before I realize that the day is gone most of the time. And so it very much is something that I almost have to schedule in and be intentional about. I don't know if it's just my generation. I use social media a lot. I used to have a thing where I would pick 5 random people every day and message them and check on them, see how they're doing. And it could be people I haven't seen in 10 years, or, someone I saw yesterday, but just pick 5 random people from my Facebook friends list and go through and send a message, or really try to look for the things that people were doing well at work and make sure that they knew that they were doing a good job or that their efforts were noticed. But what's funny is I'm on the love languages tree. I'm not a words of affirmation giver. Or real receiver. Like I don't do words of affirmation well. And so it's not something that comes naturally to me.
Well,
And
that's why you need to be intentional, because it isn't something that's automatic for you. So
Right.
that intentionality and that scheduling out. How many people work with you and your mom, Shasta?
I think we're around 30 right now.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
nice
nice
size.
size team.
Mm-hmm.
Very
It's
good.
not as big as it used to be, but it's we've got a pretty solid crew right now that's been with us for a few years. So it's a good solid crew of, the people who are supposed to be here and the people that, do really good work. And we
Yeah.
get a lot of people who we do a lot of goal setting with people. And so a lot of times they're only with us for a season and then they get to elevate to their next thing. And we get to sit back and be their cheerleaders and watch them
That's
go accomplish
amazing.
all the
And
things.
be a part of it for them
Yeah,
as they rise. Yeah.
I listened to someone recently that said, just the workforce in general is like a game, and people just transition in, they transition out. They might come back, they might not come back. But I love that you're like, it's okay if they're just here for a season. Pour into them, love on them, shine with them and for them so that they could go on and be that person for the next person.
Yes, they
Right.
can shine their light where they are meant to be next.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have a question for you, and it's how do you remind yourself not to get discouraged when you feel like your efforts aren't being noticed? And I ask that because I think sometimes we don't know if what we're doing or what we're saying resonates with someone, or if the right person is really listening or seeing, right, with your podcast as an example. So especially with social media, there's like almost no way to know everyone who's being impacted. So how do you remind yourself of that? Because I think so many people do get stuck in, I'm not
How
getting
many
any
likes or how
feedback.
many likes or how
Right.
many follows, and none
Right.
of that really matters, because just because I'm one of those people. I don't like and follow a lot. I see a lot of stuff, but I'm not one of those that press the heart or press the thumbs up. And probably people are like, why is she even on my friends list? She never even likes or comments. Missy is the opposite. Missy, I would say you're pretty good at commenting and following. I'm like a ghost, right? So I love that question, Missy, because how do you not get discouraged when you're not getting the follows or the likes on social?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a great answer for that. It's the good thing about being in the realm of social media marketing is that we're taught from the very beginning to just be consistent
Mhm.
and just keep going, even when the likes and shares and comments aren't there. Just keep being consistent, and it will eventually come through and pay off. And I think that probably my career has probably taught me that the most, and just gotten it into my head like you can't walk away now. Like you've got too many eyes on you. You can't walk away now. And I know whether they're liking and commenting or not, I know they're seeing it because I do the same thing. I'm a mindless scroller sometimes, and I have to be intentional with my scrolling and remember to interact with people, or remember to say the thought that my head had, because I'll have a thought in my head like, oh, that's cool, or I wonder how they did that, and I'm like, oh, I can actually comment that and engage with them.
And I would think for you, Shasta, especially being young and being in a male dominated industry, like you can't give up, because I mean, I would just imagine that there are
Yes.
so many women seasoned in automotive and young like yourself who they just need you. They need you as that voice. So let me ask you this. Whether it was your podcast or even in the work that you do, right, in BDC and in your marketing, what is the best compliment that you've ever received as a leader about the way that you've influenced someone?
Ooh, I'm tucking in for this one. I want to hear this one.
Probably I accomplished XYZ because of what you taught me, or because of the goal setting you did with me. That's something that's what my session at Women Automotive was on, was how to do goal setting, like not just do it, but do it right. And that's something that for years I have been absolutely passionate about is, make sure that you have goals, you write them down, and you actually get a chance to accomplish them, because at the end of the day, it won't matter how many hours you worked or how much money you made if you didn't get to go see and do the things you wanted to do or own the things you wanted to own. So I think that's, anytime someone tells me, and it's funny, after my session, I've gotten so many messages from people like, oh my gosh, I've already got up to item 100 on my 300 list that we talked about in the session. And so like, anytime I get to see that and know that they actually put into practice the things that, I took the time to teach them about is huge, because I mean, it's only going to impact them. Like, my life won't be any different if they hit their goals or not, but theirs will.
But theirs will. Yes, I love that.
Shasta, we want to hold you accountable. What's one of the things on your goals list?
My big one right now that I'm trying to figure out how to accomplish is taking a vacation to Italy, which, funny enough, as if, I always say the universe works in weird ways. At the conference, I met someone I had never met before. And, as a tiny little backstory, my husband and I had been planning a couple of years ago a trip to, take a cruise in Italy, like do a Mediterranean cruise, hit Spain and Italy and Greece. And it was like crazy expensive. I was like, okay, well, we can't afford that right now, but like, that's good to know that that's an option. This girl who I met at the conference already had a Mediterranean cruise booked for October of next year. And she's like, you need to book it too, and you need to come with us. And I was like, oh God.
My goodness.
Now I have someone who's like already going on one and will be there for us, that's been on a cruise before, because we've never been on a cruise. And so I was like, okay, well, there's my sign.
Deposits. I mean, you don't have to pay. It's far enough away that you make installments. You got to do it, girl.
Yeah, that's like a sign.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
It felt
kismet. I mean, so we started doing the 300 list, which is just, you pretty much just write down 300 things that if your pen was magic and you could make anything happen, what those things would be. So we started that in 2019 as an organization. And so I've done it several times over. I've probably started and restarted my list at least 3 times.
300. That's a lot.
That is a lot. I don't think I could come up with 300.
I don't think so either.
I haven't made it to 300. Like, I want to make that clear, but I get to the point where so much of my, like, whatever season of life I'm in, back to that season word,
right,
dictate what's on my list. So like in football season, if I add anything to my list, then I add meet Patrick Mahomes, meet Travis Kelce, all of these different Chiefs players I want to meet. And then I'm like, okay, like if we're looking at the big scheme of goals, like that was probably just a momentary want. Like I don't need that on my goals list. And so that will happen depending on what season of life I'm in. And so I've gone through and taken like the big ones and moved them over. I have never made it to 300. I get so granular with them, and I think still probably think too small. And that's what gets us, is we think too small. We think too right now or too current income and not what can be. And so getting past that mindset and into the abundance mindset, and I can have anything that I set my eyes on, will definitely be the thing that gets me there. But no, I need to get to 300. If I could stop changing my list, that would be phenomenal.
I love it.
I think too, you're such a connector, so you'll meet people who will help you get to certain goals, like this woman that you met, right? That you were influenced.
I know, like what a weird coincidence. Like already had it booked, like showed me the receipt, had it booked.
Well, Shasta, you have shined your light on us. You have made a big impact on us in the short time that we've known you. And we just want to encourage you just really to keep on shining.
Absolutely. And that's a great segue for our big takeaway of the week. I think it would be that your light may not and probably will not be for everyone, right? But the people who are searching will see it and they'll grow from it. I think so often, like, leaders get stuck trying to reach everyone or please everyone. And it leads, I would say, to frustration. The truth really is that not everyone is ready or willing or even open to your influence. And that's okay. I mean, what matters is that your light shines consistently. The ones who are seeking that guidance, that hope, that direction, they're going to see it. And then for them, for the people who catch it, it's going to make a big difference in their life. So even if you only impact one person, that one person could go on and impact dozens more.
Yeah, that's so good, Miss. I mean, I think you reminded people that leadership is less about being visible to everyone and really more about being impactful to the right ones. You know, a lot of leaders measure their success on how many people they've reached, like we were talking before, like followers or how many people work for them. But
Yes.
leadership isn't a numbers game. You know, there's a lot of things out there that are a numbers game. Leadership isn't one of them. It's really an impact game. So I think we have to really start conditioning ourselves to saying, instead of saying something like, how many people saw me or how many people follow me, to say, who was transformed because they followed me or because
that.
they saw my post, right? Like great leaders really do focus on depth, not breadth. They invest in the people and they lean in. They lean into the people that are hungry and ready to go, because those are the ones, like you were talking about, those are the ones who are going to carry that light forward.
So good.
Well, and Macy, I want to add too, like, you don't have to have a podcast or you don't have to be like crazy popular on
Yes.
impact. Like, think about who your circle is around you. Anybody you come in contact with, you know, the cashier at the grocery store getting yelled at all day long, or you know, the person you see at your dealership as they're, you know, getting you checked in for your oil change. What kind of an impact can you have on total strangers to make their day better? And so in that sense, you don't even have to be an employer, be a leader within your job. Just anybody you come into contact with, leave them better than you found them.
Yes.
I
believe
that.
We could have a whole nother podcast on that, Macy. And I love random acts of kindness. It's a big part of our philosophy. But Shasta, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for sharing your light with our audience. If our listeners want to stay in touch with you, how will they do that?
Oh gosh, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn the most. Shasta Haddock on both. Of course, I have the podcast. I'm a Car Chick podcast. I'm not hard to find. If you Google me, I'm very Googleable because my name
Googleable.
Because my name's so unique. So there's only one of me. So
you're probably sitting next to us saying, you know what, I didn't have a license plate with my name on it when I was a little girl and walked into, you know, the surf shop or whatever.
Stuckies.
I have found one in my entire life, and it was at, it's funny, I was looking at it this morning because I bought it. I got it at a place in Madeira Beach, Florida, and after I bought it, found out, because I found all sorts of weird names on there. My brother, who has a unique name, his name's Sawyer, his was there, and I was like, why are all these weird names here? And then I realized that the icon was a paw print. They were for dogs.
Oh gosh. That is funny.
It says I love Shasta, and so it's for a dog. So apparently Shasta's a common dog name. Didn't know that, but it's on my fridge at my house.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh!
So we have one more question. We ask this of all our guests. What is your favorite leadership quote? We might have stolen the one that you love the most, but what is a favorite leadership quote that you have?
That one wasn't my favorite. My favorite, it's funny, I have it written right in front of me. We have glass walls everywhere, and it's written right in front of me, so I look at it all day long. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky. That is a good one.
Love that one. Thank you so much. And listeners, we want to hear from you too. Do you have a favorite leadership quote? Send it our way, and we might spotlight it on a future episode.
And we'll be back next week with another quote and more leadership insights. And you know what we're going to do?
Of course.
We're going to
talk about it.
Bye, bestie.
Bye, bestie. Bye, Shasta. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
We want to thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, please show us some love by clicking the 3 dots to download the podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast app and talk about it with other leaders to help them find the show from any of the major podcast apps. We'd love for you to follow us on social media too. Mpactful with an M _ messages on Instagram and Mpactful Messages on LinkedIn.